So I'm going to go ahead and transition over to Jen Williams, and she's got some great information here about the ROI of social media.
Thank you so much, Katie. Again, this is Jen from Hearsay Social, and I'll just do a brief background on the company. Hearsay Social enables organizations with distributed agent forces to be successful in social media. It's a cloud software company, and we support every network, every device, every level of the org, and have a lot of experience in technology and change management. We've seen some tremendous growth in our customers and have over 40,000 seats sold that are managing more than 9 million client relationships. And so we spend an enormous amount of time and energy thinking about how businesses can get business value out of social media. And we love to lead with our customers. We've already talked a little bit about Pacific Union, but I wanted to touch on Farmers Insurance. It's just an incredible success story that we've seen in our organization. They use Hearsay Social to manage their brand page, their recruiting page, and over 6,000 agent profiles. That's 6,000 agents in the field that are posting regularly, and they're seeing incredible ROI on this. Just to drill into what that ROI looks like, I wanted to pull up one of their agents, James Peregrino. And this is James's Facebook page on the left, and you can see he's really personalized it. He has his own photo there. He has, a Farmers branded cover photo. It's high resolution. It's a really nice looking page. And he's got a couple of other things on this page that I wanted to point out. He has tabs on each of the, at the top of his screen that allow you to look at the Farmers product line, to learn more information. And you can see that he's actually getting people posting on as well asking for quotes. They want quotes on life insurance. They're posting about the referrals that he's giving them. And at the bottom, the other pullout that I wanted to show was, the recommendations he's getting. He's actually having his customers post publicly on a forum for all of his potential customers and for all of their friends that they were able to get, 100,000 more of life insurance for only $3. Or they're saying to call James because he can help. And it's just an incredible source of ROI and an incredible ability for him to really connect directly with his customers. And if you ask James, he actually says nearly all of his new clients this year come from Hearsay Social. And that's just one of the 6,000 agents that Farmers has actively posting on social media via Hearsay Social. So moving on, what are some steps to really set your social media initiative up for success? And we really can't emphasize this enough, but it's imperative that you track your referrals from social media assets. As a social media manager or a corporate marketer, you're not going to be able to show the business value of your social media assets and your investment unless you actually track which of your leads and which of your new customers or returning customers are actually being referred to you by your social media assets. So that's paramount. There should definitely be a field in your CRM software that allows you to say that this lead came from social media. And another thing is you want to be able to roll up your analytics. You want to see the number of real estate professionals you have active on social media and the number of fans each one of them has, their engagement rates, posting activity. All of the different metrics that Katie was talking about earlier in her best practice number 10 are important to see across your entire real estate professional organization. And that way you can see which of my agents are the most successful and how can we apply their learnings to the agents that are less successful and the ones that potentially need a little bit more help. And then on the left, there's some other things that you can do on social media. This is what we do at Hearsay. We try to we pull out important life events for each of your real estate professionals' connections on social media that would be great things to bring up in a conversation or that are important just in order for them to build that relationship. So, on the right, there's this image of an email that the professionals get every week, and it's just a sample that says, so-and-so might have gotten a new job. Here's why we think it happened. People are posting congratulations on their wall. They're saying nice job on the promotion. It would be a great opportunity for your real estate professional to reach out and congratulate them. And we can also notify you of moves, and that's the other key event that's visible from this email where one of their connections moved from San Francisco to New York. You can get more granularity in our actual software, either on the web or on your mobile device in the news stream, and you're also able to pull out roll-up analytics for your entire network. How many of your posts were agent posts, how many of them were likes, and how many of them were consumer posts and likes. And again, we support every device, every network. Professionals can engage in the office or on the go. It's a critical piece of functionality for people who move around. And we also have a content library that allows, that alleviates a lot of the pain points that Katie was talking about with app overload earlier in the webinar. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Emily to lead questions. I know we've gotten a few during the webinar.
Thank you so much, Jen, and thank you, Katie. So, yeah, that's awesome. This is great information about why we shouldn't shy away from the ROI conversation. I know that some people kind of don't want to look, don't want to know, but it really is that information, that knowledge really is powerful when you're looking at all the time you spend and the effort that you're putting in to see that it is increasing your leads and your referrals, and you can see success from that. So thank you for that, Jen. We've got some awesome questions. Let's see. How about, what's the best time of day to post?
I'm happy to take that one. At Hearsay, we actually analyze our customers' data to really see what times are they getting the best engagement. And for real estate, I'm going to say that this is going to be industry specific. Most of your consumers or most of your potential buyers and sellers are going to be looking at different listings on Saturday mornings. I know the weekends are really important for real estate, and a lot of people like to plan their weekends and plan the homes that they're going to visit early in the morning on Saturday to make the most out of their weekends. And so that's a critical time to post. Other times, early in the morning, any day of the week, tends to get high engagement in real estate.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Here's another great question. How important is it to invest the time and resources into a long-term content strategy? Can I outsource it? Ooh, good one.
Yeah, those are both really great questions. So I think it's important when you're talking about a content strategy to certainly look at the long-term vision. And I think it's a balance, because on one hand, you want to be timely with your social media posts. So you want to talk about the downtown event that's happening this weekend in your community, and you want to talk about Thanksgiving coming up. But you also want to think about what are some things that you could talk about down the road. And one of the things I always recommend with agents and corporate marketers is to think about buckets of content. And what are different buckets of content that reflect your brand? So it could be things like the local community. It could be incredible listings. It could be other types of community information. But looking at your content and putting together a strategy for 30, 60, 90 days out, and then long term looking at what you can do over the course of the year. I'm a big fan of using like an editorial calendar or a simple strategy like that to really have a plan. And then outsource it. I get that question all the time. Can I outsource it? Can I just hire someone to do it? I get that question all the time. Well, as an agent, you can certainly hire someone to help you. But one of the best sources of social, one of the best ways to implement social is to be personal and to infuse your personality into it. If you were to go to a dinner party with 5 of your best clients, would you outsource that or would you go yourself? And I think that's one way to think about it. Of course, as a corporate marketer, same thing. You can certainly outsource contractors and consultants to help, but at the end of the day, it's really important to infuse it internally with your brand and what you're doing.
Great. Awesome. Well, here's a great one for the ROI conversation. So Jen, what is the most important metric I should look for on social media?
That's a really, really great question. There's been so much, buzz in the news arena and blogosphere on how do I measure ROI of social media. And for a long time, people were convinced, it's the same thing that happened with websites. People were convinced that the more eyeballs I have, the more my website is worth. And with social media, there's another argument that says, the more likes I have, the more my social media program is worth, and that's the return I'm seeing on my investment. But if you talk to if you talk to someone in your finance department of your company, I'm not sure that they'll be quite as convinced that a like is worth as much money as, the different reports available say that it's worth. And so I would say that for building a business case for social media, the most important metric to look at is really the dollar value. And one of the easiest ways to track that is simply by saying, how many deals did I close from people who were referred to me by social media, by my social media assets? How many of my new customers came from social media or connected with me on Facebook and then decided, this person seems to know so much about real estate, I think that that's who I want to work with when I'm buying or selling my home. And I really can't overstate the importance of tracking that piece, that crucial piece of information. It's really the leads generated and the dollar value that you're generating from your social media assets.
Well, let's see here. Another question from the audience. Okay, Katie, since you're really, really familiar with the industry and a lot of the companies out there, what's an example of a company that is doing well on social media? We've got a lot of case studies with some graveyards, and we don't want any social media graveyards.
Right.
So let's hear about a company that's really, really excelling at this.
Absolutely. So there's, what's exciting is I feel like there's more and more companies to talk about who are really succeeding in social media, especially in real estate. I was just looking at the Twitter feed and some of the people that are tweeting, and Frank Allen Realtors, they've been tweeting along with us. Thank you. Give them a shout out for listening today. They're doing a fantastic job with their social strategy. They've really put together a fantastic content strategy. I also saw some people tweeting from Coldwell Banker, Bain, and Seal up in the Seattle Northwest area, in the Seattle, Portland area. And, I know those people personally. They're doing a really great job at putting out some fantastic local content. I know those guys go to a lot of events, and they're really involved in their community and really dedicated to their agents. So they're doing a great job. And then also, one of the bigger companies out on the East Coast, the Corcoran Group, is doing a fantastic job. Corcoran is really well known for talking about what's happening locally. They've got some amazing pictures of food and all the amazing beautiful things you can do in Manhattan and fashion, and they really talk about what beyond just real estate. Their whole philosophy is real estate is beyond these four walls. Real estate is about the local parks and the museums and everything that makes it amazing to live in Manhattan, and they do a fantastic job with that. Two other companies I'll mention really quick on the East Coast, Avery Hess and William Ravis, and I know these guys very well. They're doing a really great job. They're not huge franchises, but they're really well known in their community. They've got a great team of dedicated agents, and I know firsthand from talking to their social media managers and directors. Kristen, if you're listening, Supriya, if you're listening, I know I invited you to this webinar, so I'm sure you're probably tuning in, but they're doing a fantastic job at integrating content and giving content to their agents to really maximize their social media. So those are just a few I would definitely recommend checking out.
Great, awesome. Thank you, Katie. Well, let's see. I think we have time for about one more question. Could you this on my personal profile? I think you can.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a great question. So that's something I get asked all the time is can I talk about business on my personal profile? And my answer is yes and no. So, if you look at Facebook's terms of service, you're actually not supposed to just use your personal profile to talk about business. And I think that's pretty common sense anyways. No one wants to just, be friends with someone and all they talk about is their work, right? So how can you talk about business on your personal profile? What I recommend is you talk about things in real estate that you're excited about, because let's face it, you wouldn't be an agent, you wouldn't be a broker, you wouldn't be, a corporate marketer in real estate if you didn't enjoy what you did. So sharing that on your personal profile. As an agent, I think sharing moments is a great idea. The moment someone buys their first home, the moment that someone gets their first set of keys. As a broker or corporate marketer, how about the moment a new agent joins your team, and you share that moment? How about your sales team, a really exciting sales meeting that you have with a guest speaker? I know a lot of people are doing that on their social profiles. And then integrating it with other things that you would talk about on your personal profiles, your kids, your vacation, or just the things that you would normally share anyway. So integrating that into your personal profile. You certainly can talk about business, certainly can talk about real estate. Just make sure it's not every single thing that you talk about.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thanks, Katie.